Hey, how's everybody doing today? We're going to be in Psalms again. We're going to be in Psalms 1 and Psalm 4 today. And there's a couple things I wanted to address with you. You know, we live in a time where we have more access to connect with other people online and view by social media and by other means than ever before. And one of the benefits of that is we get to know what people think. We get to share opinions. One of the downsides of that is we get to know what people think and they share their opinions. And so sometimes that's a good thing and that's a bad thing. But I want to read to you from Psalm 1, first of all. It says, "Oh, the joys of those who do not follow the advice of the wicked, or stand around with sinners, or join in with mockers. But they delight in the law of the Lord, meditating on it day and night. They are like trees planted along the riverbank, bearing fruit each season. Their leaves neither wither, and they prosper in all they do." You know, one of the parts that I think we skip over in that psalm, we always talk about, follow the advice of the wicked or stand around with sinners, but too often we don't really talk about or join in with mockers. We've become a society that's very comfortable in mocking other people for their beliefs or their opinions or what they think. And I don't think that's a good thing. And for us as believers, I think we have to be extra careful. You know, it is true that anything you say can be misconstrued, and that's going to happen. But we need to be careful about joining in with mockers to mock other people. Sometimes we end up doing that with people who are other believers. And then sometimes we do that with people that may be lost, that maybe someday we would have an opportunity to minister to and to witness to them. You know, one of the things that it talks about when it talks about these three groups, it says, "Don't follow the advice of the wicked, stand around with sinners, or join in with mockers." In the next verse, in verse 4 in Psalms 1, it says, "But not the wicked. They are like worthless chaff scattered by the wind." And chaff is what happens when they would harvest the wheat or any kind of grain. The wheat itself has a weight to it. And so what they would do is often they would just toss up the wheat after it was harvested. And the wind, it says next, they're scattered by the wind. The wind would take the chaff and move it away from the wheat. Why is that? Because the chaff is lightweight. And we want to make sure that when we give our opinions or when we join into conversations, that we're not acting as a mocker. And a mocker, what is a mocker? They're lightweight. They might have anger. They might call names. They might make fun of other people, but they're not contributing anything of weight to the conversation. And as believers, as hard as that is, there are times when I have typed out a post and then thought about it and said, I'm going to wait a little while, and then I would just go back and not post it at all. Sometimes I go back and change some things and post it, but oftentimes I wouldn't post it at all. And those were probably some of my best decisions when it came to social media. Now, I want you to look at Psalm 4, and we're going to look at verse 4 in Psalm 4. It says, "Don't sin by letting anger control you. Think about it overnight and remain silent." There's a novel idea. Think about it overnight and remain silent. When we say or post or give opinions in anger, almost all the time we're going to regret what we said or how we said it. So the best time to share or to take part in those conversations is when we can do that without being angry. And if that means that we need to not post something or we need to not say something, we need to wait until later, with our spouse, with our family, that's the best choice. It's often times the best choice to remain silent. And too many times I want to get it out right then. And there's just momentary feeling of satisfaction when you get that out. But it can oftentimes be followed by a lot of regret, whether that's in a conversation with someone in person or online or whatever. And so I think if we would just take that one verse and we'd apply this every day, don't sin by letting anger control you. Think about it overnight and remain silent. How many regretful words could we keep from saying or posting or typing or whatever by just waiting until we're not angry anymore to decide if that's something that we need to say or not? And so I hope that you guys will take this in the spirit that it was given, and that is, I'm not speaking down to you. I'm talking about someone who deals with this on a regular basis. Matter of fact, I was just talking to one of our staff members about how I really, really, really wanted to respond to something that someone had posted a few days ago on something that I was mentioning or related to or whatever, and that I was glad I didn't, but that I really, really wanted to. And so I still struggle with that too. And I think that's something that we need to be careful about. We need to make sure that when we say things, whether it's online or in person, that we're not saying it in anger. And if we are, just wait till the next day or wait a few hours or whatever until the anger is dissipated, and then decide, is this a wise thing to say or do? It would keep us out of a lot of trouble and keep us from a lot of I'm sorries in the future. So I hope that I can follow my own advice here, and I hope that it'll be a blessing to you too. Hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you soon. God bless.